And welcome, Destiny Christian Church, to Destiny-Devos. And so glad to be with you. And today, I want to talk to you just for a few minutes about something that I shared on another podcast that I do my own personal one, because I feel like it's so vital for what is happening today in the world, and that is losing your disillusionment without losing your faith. How do you do that? How do you become disillusioned, whether it's with God or people or life or troubles, without losing your faith? And there's the story of Bolt the dog, which was made into a movie, who thinks that he's a superhero. And this dog, he was indestructible. He had this bark that was like a super bark, and he had laser eyes. And one day he wanders off the studio, and all of a sudden he awakens to the reality that his whole life was a lie, and he had no powers at all, that all of his superpowers were just special effects and props and stage lights and tricks. And so that is a picture of disillusionment. And somebody once said that nothing is more sad than the death of an illusion. And I got to tell you, I don't agree with that, because in God, he often, more than often, wants to allow you to become disillusioned so that then you'll really believe his truth. Nothing brings you to God's purposes quicker than when you deal with an illusion, when you get rid of the illusion in your life. And often we have these pictures in our head. We heard a prophetic word, or we read a promise, or we felt God spoke to us in a certain way. And we have this idealized way of how we think it's going to happen. And when it doesn't happen that way, we become disillusioned. And so, but disillusionment can be very, very powerful, especially when it becomes the very basis for your faith. And I remember years ago, someone patting me on the back and saying, "Wow, you got through that trial, and that organization didn't kill you." You know, that's when I was part of a big organization and went through some trials there. And all I told them at the time was, I thank God for what I went through, because it made me the man that I am. And it increased my faith, and it made me strong. And that's when I realized that God, by his grace, was teaching me how to be disillusioned without losing my faith. That I was able to look back and see God's hand in it instead of just pain. And so, as somebody once said, wisdom comes by disillusionment. And I want to leave you a scripture, and then we're gonna let you go. But how do you get rid of disillusionment, and how do you become disillusioned to the point where you don't lose your faith? Well, I want to give you a scripture, and hopefully, encourage you to get rid of your own disillusionment in your life, right? And to do it in a healthy way. But here's the scripture, and this scripture is found in 2 Corinthians 10:4-5, and I'll read it to you. It's, "We destroy arguments and every proud obstacle raised up against the knowledge of God, and we take every thought captive to obey Christ." That, my friends, is how you destroy disillusionment in your life, how you get rid of it. That once you get over that disillusionment and you realize that maybe I had this idea in my head that wasn't God, maybe I kind of ran ahead with a story of how things should be, and almost missed God because it happened maybe this way instead of that way. And God has a way of helping us to become free from our illusions. He allows us that. That's why Abraham, when he's walking in the desert to the place where he's going to sacrifice his son, I'm absolutely convinced that he had warfare in his heart, in the spirit of saying, how am I going to do this? How do I kill my own son? How does God ask me to kill the promise he gave me 25 years ago? But God was teaching him to let go of his disillusionment and believe God. That's why disillusionment can be the most powerful stepping stone to faith. So be blessed with that word today and be encouraged by it. And make sure you check out the church website, destinychristianniagara.com, and also check out YouTube and Facebook, because we always put stuff on there to encourage you. So till next time, you have a great day. God bless you.